Hey there, my name's John, and I'm the creator and founder of ClickScout. I'm super excited today to introduce you to ClickScout and to show you this software that I've created and have been personally using to help me understand the impact of my SEO and content marketing efforts on leads and revenue. So let's get into it. Here's what we're going to cover today. First, I want to share some of the biggest mistakes that I have made as a SaaS marketer, especially when it comes to SEO and content marketing. We'll talk about how you can avoid these mistakes that I have made. Next, we'll talk about why you need to be tracking what I like to call your money pages. And then we'll discuss how ClickScout makes it easy to see what SEO content is driving leads and revenue. And then finally, we'll discuss how you can become a founding member and get that early beta tester access of ClickScout. So first, let's just start out with a quick introduction. My name is John, and I'm a SaaS marketer with over 6 years of experience in content marketing, SEO, growth marketing, and PPC. I started out my career working for myself and eventually moved in-house to a SaaS company called Socket Labs that worked within the email deliverability and API space. I started at Socket Labs as their first digital marketer, where I was responsible for search engine optimization, paid search, so on and so forth. Eventually, I became their VP of revenue marketing, where I led all inbound marketing. In addition to that, I also built my own SaaS called Get Lead Forms, which essentially just helps marketers build multi-step forms. I'm currently using ClickScout to help me grow Get Lead Forms organically, and I'll be discussing that throughout this presentation. So that's a little bit about me. Now diving into some of my recent experience over the last 6 years. So diving into my most recent experience of working for Socket Labs self-serve SaaS platform, I want to touch on some of the work I did around growing their organic traffic and some of the lessons learned and mistakes that were made along the way. So between 2017 to 2021, I significantly grew Socket Labs organic traffic. And during that time, we had a lot of success, but we also made a ton of mistakes. The biggest mistake? Focusing on traffic. Early on, we used traffic as the primary success KPI. It's what we used to determine if something was working well or if we needed to work on some sort of optimization. And again, that was a big mistake because all we got at the end of the day was just that, traffic. But eventually we got smarter and we started tying content marketing and SEO efforts to signups. But you know what? That still wasn't enough. Just seeing traffic and signups just wasn't enough. And we also found that we relied a little too heavily on Google Analytics and Google Search Console, which tend to fall short in tracking down funnel attribution data. So as a result, we struggled to answer questions like, what are my money pages, my top revenue pages, and how are they trending in the SERPs, especially as I make changes? GSC gives me a ton of great data, but what pages are actually driving signups and revenue? How are my top conversion and revenue generating pages trending in the search engine results? And where should we even begin to prioritize around optimization and new content creation? What's working? What hasn't worked? Where should we focus? And this is a strange one, but a key one. What SEO pages do I need to protect from a competitive perspective? Are competitors out there ripping off my top content? And do I even care about the type of content that they rip off? Is that my revenue generating content? And the big one, what's the ROI on our content marketing and SEO? Your CEO, he has probably said that or is thinking that right now. And I have to admit, I understand that not all content in SEO needs to tie to ROI. But here's the thing, having been in the VP level role at a SaaS, I can guarantee you that the CEO, your CRO, and board members think this way. And here's the thing, showing ROI will not only help you show the value that your work drives, but the bottom line is that it is also good to know what content is driving revenue. It is good to know that attribution. So here's a question. Does all this sound kind of familiar to you? Do you feel like you could really relate to my experience? I'm guessing that for most of you, the answer is an astounding yes. And I'm not surprised, because in my experience, most SaaS marketers at smaller companies that I speak to have the same struggles and experience. Now, why is that? Well, I think it's because seeing which SEO content drives revenue is really hard, like really, really hard. You typically need a bunch of tools, like a BI tool, and they're quite expensive, a database to store the data, an ETL to pull the data out and format it to put it into your BI tool, and some SQL and maybe even Python knowledge. This is kind of easy for bigger teams with resources and not so easy for smaller SaaS teams, trust me on that. And even if you do have a way of getting that data into a BI tool, it's even harder to get those key SEO driven insights from your tool. And trust me, I went through this myself. That's why I wanted to create a platform that would unify Google Search Console data with your attribution data and your shopping cart data in just a few clicks, all while providing that deeper level of SEO driven, revenue driven insight. And that's what ClickScout does. So I've been secretly using ClickScout to grow my own SaaS called Get Lead Forms. And it's really starting to work. I'm starting to see some decent organic traffic growth. And I'm also able to tie my efforts to signups and revenue, which is amazing to be able to see it all in one view without having to try to hack or duct tape multiple tools together into Google Sheets. Oh, and I can even pinpoint and tag which pages tie to revenue. I call these pages my money pages. And here's the funny thing about these money pages. When you know what pages are making you money, you start to make more money. I've kind of noticed that myself. And to that point, using ClickScout with Get Lead Forms has pretty much changed everything for me. And I know exactly what pages drive growth. It's kind of weird. And I'm even able to laser focus my efforts and cut through the noise, which saves me a ton of time and frustration and headaches from all the thinking. For example, through ClickScout, I learned that integrations content drives the most revenue for me. So I started creating more of that type of content and revenue went up. And I can finally answer that age-old question that most of us SaaS marketers and SEO content people sometimes hate getting. What's the ROI of our content marketing and SEO? I can not only answer that question, I can pretty much show it inside of ClickScout. So if it's not already obvious to you, let's just talk about what ClickScout does. So what does ClickScout do? Well, imagine if Google Search Console could connect your pages and your keywords to conversions and revenue. And imagine if GSC could show this information in a more organized view with better trending data and eventually have artificial intelligence and smart roles, which we already have some of now, to pinpoint exactly where to focus. That's ClickScout. Think of it as your trusty scout dog for your SEO and content marketing. Now, ClickScout does these three things. First, it sniffs out your top conversion and revenue producing SEO-focused content so you can know exactly what content drives results. Second, it shows you exactly how many signups, customers, and how much revenue your content produced so you know where to focus your attention. Third, it shows you how this content is trending in terms of traffic so you never lose the sight of content that matters and how it's actually performing. So this way with ClickScout, you can quickly spot what needs to be addressed through optimizations and new content creation that can really help set strategy. Ultimately, ClickScout allows you to see the forest through the trees, as they say. So this way you will know where to focus so you can make the biggest impact the fastest. Okay, with all that said, let's take a quick tour. So I'm inside of ClickScout now, and let's just focus on the section in the middle where we have all of this data. I'm going to walk through some of what ClickScout shows and what you can do with ClickScout, and also talk a little bit about the future and what's coming. So to start, if we look from left to right, you will see that we have the basic data that a tool such as Google Search Console shows you, or a tool such as Google Analytics shows. We have clicks, we have impressions, click-through rate, position. And then when we start getting more to the right, we have the data that is stored either in your shopping cart or your database or CRM. We have leads, customers, revenue, and then from there we can come up with a conversion rate and a paid rate. So what we basically have here is a combination of the data that Google Search Console gives you combined with the data from your shopping cart, we'll just say, or it could be your CRM, stored inside of ClickScout with all the dots connected. And from there, you can get a picture into how your content marketing is driving leads and revenue. Now, if you come down into this chart, you'll notice that there's a high-level overview of how all of your click data is trending across all of your organic pages for each month. And in my case, you can see that the traffic is trending up. We are only 17 days into October, so October showing it's a bit lower, but we're not done the month. Now, what's also nice here is you can filter based on week, month, year, and your own custom date range. Now, where ClickScout gets really interesting here is you can click into revenue and you can actually see how your revenue attributed to your content is performing month over month. Now, what's interesting here is if we go back to the beginning of the year, so I started ramping up content at the beginning of the year, and by ramping up, I mean producing like one post every 2 weeks, not much of a ramp, but I started producing more content right around the beginning of the year. And as I started to do that, I noticed that revenue started to go up. In fact, if we just go over to the weekly click data, you'll see in the beginning of the year, we didn't have a whole ton of clicks each week. It was about 100 to 200 clicks a week. Now we're pacing up around the high 500s to 700 clicks per week. So we significantly increased click traffic, organic traffic, and at the same time, from increasing the amount of blog posts that we've created, but not just blog posts, the amount of revenue-focused blog posts that we've created, we have also increased revenue for Get Lead Forms, and you can see that playing out here in the data, where in the beginning, we only had one paying user come through, and that was in May, but now we're seeing that we're getting consistent higher highs. Here we go, up here, and we're also seeing more frequent payments coming through from our blog content. So people are finding our blog more frequently because we're producing more content, and they're paying us more frequently, and we are starting to make more money from the blog. So we're really just getting started with the blog, and as we continue to ramp up blog content and as we continue to find what works, we should continue to see these numbers continue to go up. So that's this section at a high level. And from there, we can drill down into table data. Now, all of this data matches whatever time frame is selected up here, whether that's a week, a month, a year, custom. And it is also the same type of data that you see up here, except it's at the page level. Now with ClickScout, we decided to go at the page level, and then we give you the ability to drill down into the page to see what keywords tie to the page. So for example, for this blog post, Get Lead Forms, we start out at the page level again, So that could either be a page or a blog post, and then you can drill down into it to see what keywords tie to all that page. So the general keyword data that Google Search Console provides you with is all in here. Now, where we go a step further is connecting your page level data to signups, revenue, and customers, and then provide you with the conversion metrics. So here we can see we're looking at, let's just look at the month of September. So you can filter on date. We'll go first day of September and end of September. And you will see that in this chart, it then modifies to be week over week for September, or weekly trends for September, I should say. And then you can begin to filter in here based on the different columns. Now, depending on when you watch this video, you may or may not see an export to CSV button. In the very near future, we're going to have a way to export all of this data into a CSV file to be uploaded and combined to Google Sheets, which will help with more analysis and ongoing reporting. But for now, you can easily filter based on clicks, impressions, CTR, conversion rates, customers, so on and so forth, to slice and dice the data in various ways that will be useful for you in terms of reporting and strategy. So I'll talk through some various ways you can use ClickScout in a moment here. I just want to quickly highlight some of the data. So again, you have at the page level, clicks, impressions, CTRs, position, number of leads. So this is pulling in your shopping cart attribution CRM data, customers, revenue, and then we calculate your conversion rate and paid rate. All of this stuff is really helpful to know when you're doing reporting and strategy and monitoring. And then beyond that, where it gets super cool is the Scout column. So currently, the Scout column uses some smart rules to essentially automatically tag your content based on what's happening, and it's all connected to the date range. So currently we have 3 types of tags. We have a conversion page, a money page, and a slipping page. And slipping in terms of clicks is what it's called. So a conversion page is a page that has a number of signups. A money page is a page that has generated revenue during a given time frame. And a slipping page is where we have seen clicks drop during a specific time frame. So all of these tags can be really helpful in helping you to quickly understand what's happening at the page level and quickly monitor performance. And it'll be really helpful for you to understand the ROI of your content marketing and your search engine optimization programs, and to figure out kind of where to adjust and what to do more of and less of. So that's the high level look, and that's what I tend to look at on a weekly and monthly basis. But then beyond that, I like to drill in and get a sense of what's driving in the most amount of clicks for me. Where's there a change in terms of where did I lose clicks? And sometimes looking at the slipping page click section helps. I like to look at impressions, but beyond that, again, I'm looking at leads and customers and revenue. And I like to get a sense of where's the revenue coming in from a weekly or monthly perspective, where's the customers coming in, and document things like what were my top 10 pages that drove revenue? What were my top 10 pages that drove clicks? What were my top 10 pages that drove leads? Where did we see pages slip? And all that type of information. So ClickScout can be really useful for doing that level of analysis, where you're getting in there and kind of monitoring your pages in terms of revenue and, I guess, down funnel performance, we could say. Beyond that, when it comes to actual strategy, there's a lot of different ways to use ClickScout, and I'm going to have a whole guide for all of our founding members that walks through all of the different ways that you can use ClickScout to slice and dice the information to pull out insights to help guide strategy. So hopefully you're starting to see that there's so many ways that you can use ClickScout within your daily routine of reporting on, monitoring, and even creating strategy around your organic content and search engine optimization efforts. So let's jump back into the presentation and wrap things up. What you just saw is just the beginning. There's so much more to come. So what's coming next? AI insights and recommendations, which I'm super excited for. That's the Scout column. You'll see that you saw that we already have that started. More advanced filters, more metrics, such as some of the top of funnel things that would be interesting to know, like consumption, dwell time, bounce rates, additional channels such as paid search, notes and collaboration, agency white labeling, downloadable reports, CRM integrations, and so much more. Now, at the moment, ClickScout is not commercially available to buy. You can't even go to a website and sign up for a demo of it. This is the first time that I'm publicly talking about ClickScout. And to this day, there's only been one user of ClickScout, and that's me. And even though ClickScout is still very early and in beta, it gets the job done for me. And I'm hoping that it can get the job done for others as well. So I'm looking for some early users to become founding members. Now, here's what you'll get when you become a founding member. As a founding member, you'll get full access to all of the features in ClickScout for life. And I'll personally get you all set up. And we even provide personal training showing you how to use the tool. We'll shoot Loom videos and get you up to speed as fast as possible. And we even have a team here to support any question that you may have. And you can also openly share feature ideas, which we will prioritize onto our roadmap. I want to continue to make ClickScout as best as it can be. And all of this information will be shared out to founding members with quarterly updates. And finally, I'll even provide you with a guide highlighting how to use ClickScout to get insights and for monitoring and for reporting and strategy. So the price will eventually be around $297 per month on the low end, but on the high end, it'll be closer to $500 to $1,000 per month, especially as we add other channels and integrations. But for founding members, you'll get full access to all features for just $197 per month and a refundable $500 setup fee. Now, this is paid month to month and you can cancel at any time. We will not try to lock you into a year plan. And if for any reason you aren't happy, you can ask for a full refund and we'll give it to you. So finally, ClickScout may not be for everybody right now. So let's just talk about who it's best for, so you can make sure if this is right for you. So ClickScout is best for you if ideally you work in SaaS or an online e-commerce business. And ideally the business is in a sweet spot of somewhere between $100,000 per year, $10 million per year in annual recurring revenue. It doesn't need to be in that sweet spot, but that's probably the sweet spot. Now, this is a big one. Ideally, you're using a checkout processor such as Stripe, Paddle, or Braintree, or you could also be using something like Shopify. Another huge one, using or willing to use Google Search Console. If you don't use Google Search Console and if you have no desire to use it, then ClickScout's not going to be of much help to you. And you have the desire to get more out of your SEO program and grow revenue for your SaaS. So again, here's what you get. Grandfathered into a discounted rate of $197 per month, which you can cancel at any time. Eventually, we will be increasing the price point to around $300 per month and higher. So as a founding member, you're going to be grandfathered into full feature access, and you automatically get any new feature that we create without having to upgrade in the future. There's no feature gating for founding members. So this will include AI, Google search when we launch other channels, CRM integrations, so on and so forth. Again, the price will probably be 3 to 4 times higher as ClickScout gets more advanced. Completely full, done for you setup and onboarding. An onboarding call to help you get set up if you need it. Email access to me if you have any questions that you may have around the tool. The ability to share feedback to shape the roadmap and the future of the tool, so you can help build something that you will continue to enjoy using over time. Quarterly founder updates, quarterly account reviews and recommendations, highlighting some insights from ClickScout and improvements that you can make. So again, the price for this is $197 per month plus a $500 setup fee. And again, if you're not happy for any reason, you can get a full refund, and I'll even refund you the setup fee. So this pretty much means that there's literally zero risk on your part. If for any reason you're unhappy, we will completely refund you, no questions asked. So at this point, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. If you're interested in giving ClickScout a shot, simply shoot me an email, john@getclickscout.com, and let me know that you're interested in becoming a founding member and would like to know more about next steps. Or if you have questions about this presentation, again, shoot an email over to john@getclickscout.com, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.